Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. Just starting with a beautiful Submariner meters first.
Yes, 5512.
One last look here at this gorgeous GMT Master. Absolutely fantastic. So now we're going to talk about the Zenith Chronomaster Sport with JohnnyGuitar, who owns this beautiful Zenith Power Daytona. Unfortunately, we don't have ceramic Daytona. We call Rolex, but they couldn't provide one in time for the video.
Funny that, huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, clearly this one has a date and color, so it's a much better watch than yours. But for the sake of talking, we're gonna hash it out.
No, but you know what? I would actually agree. This functionally is better than any chronograph in the market, bar none. Because if you see what is happening and the fact that it measures the time to 10th of a second, they're the only one where you can actually do this. Nobody else does it. So for me, they are on a class of their own. I actually discovered this watch when I went on your channel.
Yeah.
On the day you posted the video. I didn't even know that this watch had come out. And you posted it obviously with a black dial. But when I saw this, I didn't think about a Daytona. What I thought about was a Tag Carrera, because there is a Tag Carrera which is 44 millimeters. I think with the movement higher 02 or whatnot, and that's what I thought about when I saw this watch, because the case design and the bezel and the typography on the bezel was much more similar. And then I saw the entire internet exploding with the Daytona thing, and I just didn't get it. And I think I didn't get it because I saw the black version first, and for me, it was different enough to the Daytona that I wasn't like, oh, this is an obvious knockoff. Now, obviously, when you go into the detail, the bracelet clearly has the inspiration. If you're looking at the white dial, just because the kind of contrast you have with the sub-dial on the white dial and then the black bezel is going to look a lot more similar. I can understand when people are saying, yeah, there's a resemblance there. But again, myself, having seen it first with the black dial, at least in your video, I didn't think for a second, oh, they're trying to copy the Daytona, like not at all. And I thought that in many ways it was extraordinarily lazy to just jump to this conclusion, because I thought that there was just so much more to it. There's a very good video on a very good channel called Not So Obvious Watch Review. The guy, Pete, Australian guy, really nice take on things, because he goes into the details and he tries like a bit of a psychological approach. Is why is it that we perceive things in the way that we do?
I have seen that video and it was very, very clever. And it's interesting you mentioned tag, because me too, I get some tag feel sometimes. And when you feel the watch in person, I mean, you've had Rolex for 20 years. It feels nothing like a Rolex.
It doesn't, because what you have, it feels either like a tag or some Grand Seiko.
The new Grand Seiko GMT has a bit of that feel.
Yeah, the cases are just so different, because frankly, the case, even on the new ones, are not that different from that. You know, you've got like this kind of rounded case. The lugs are more or less the same. Obviously, now this is one that dates 2 generations back, right? So this is like probably from the 90s. So the El Primero is like this one. You have this symmetry. The one after that with I think it's movement 4130. It is slightly offset. They did it on purpose, by the way. They did it on purpose so that it was less easy to copy.
Right. Oh wow.
And but then at the same time, the symmetry is not exactly there anymore. But again, I think that this watch has enough qualities of its own without having to be compared all the time with the Daytona.
There's a lot of fun with the sub dials, and at a distance, I was telling you that what you see is that eye, that whiter dial. While with the white dial, you're going to see the blue one
yes,
at
exactly.
a distance.
Which is why also I much prefer the black dial over the white dial. I just find it a bit too loud on the white dial. The black dial, I think, is the way to go with this.
Stand on its own.
It's and it's got, you know, the functionality is brilliant. It's got a date. It's playful because of the different colors on the sub dial. It wears well. It's a bit thick for my taste. I don't know how thick that is, but it's still wearable. You know,
to me, it's what really makes a difference is that you have an amazing luxury product, and at the same time very functional with the Daytona. Luxury is in the thinness, as we often say. Zenith priced at $10,000. It's a $10,000 complication because it's so unique on the market. I wouldn't want to pay $10,000 for it.
This is retail $10,000. Daytona is retail $13,000. You got 30% off, so it gets it to you at $7,000.
Almost half.
If you want a Daytona, you pay double.
Yeah.
Right, unless you want to spend 3 to 5 years on a wait list, and that means that. It's the difference between a $7,000 watch and a $28,000 watch.
Insane.
Which is insane because it's not 4 times a better watch, like nowhere near as a matter of fact.
But I will always say it doesn't scratch the itch. It doesn't. If you have in your back of your mind that you have to own a Daytona, even if you buy this, buy it for what it is. Buy it for being a Zenith with a very cool movement and a date, so super usable, and it's also waterproof to 100 meters, but it's not going to scratch the itch. If in the back of your mind you still want a Daytona, the week later you still are going to look at the Daytonas, and the two can live in the same collection.
If you scratch that itch and be done with it, then, you know, if you like it, keep it. If you don't, flog it. You're not going to lose money on this thing anyway, which is basically what happened to me when I got my first one, so the white dial one, so the 116520, which I just sold last year and that I bought in 2010. I was never a Daytona guy, but the price was actually, I got it below retail at that time. You know, it's a financial crisis and all that, and you could find them, and I'm like, yeah, why not, you know, and I liked it and I wore it, but it's just not my thing so much, so eventually I had no problem parting with it. This, I traded a couple of watches to get that, but again, it was still years ago, so...
The sub-dial patina is amazing. So when you got it, it didn't have that patina on the sub-dial?
It had already.
It had already.
This is not a Patrizzi dial, you know, Patrizzi dial...
Right, it's not that extreme patina,
much browner.
Really beautiful though.
But yeah, I like this because I like you know, the thinness, the fact that it's a Zenith movement, so I'm just going to keep this. But do I wear it very often? I don't. I find it very difficult to read.
Yeah.
It's a tough watch to read, you know, you've got thin hands on the backdrop of a black dial. Frankly, I'm much happier reading the time on this.
I think the white dial is even harder to read. Even the modern one, the ceramic white dial is not that easy to read, and as you get older it gets less functional.
You don't have enough contrast on it. So look, gorgeous watch, Daytona. I mean, there's nothing to be said about this. It's iconic. People
can never go
it.
wrong.
But for, you know, the part that bothers me a bit about it, and with the entire price and all that, is that you kind of feel that a lot of it has to do with the hype and the bragging right, as opposed to what you actually get. And 80% or 90% of the people who are going to get it is because it's been so overhyped.
It would be sad if you got mugged for your Zenith, I have to say, because it looks like a Daytona to the untrained eye. A relatively affordable way into it would be a two-tone Zenith. I've seen a couple really interesting ones.
It's less and less affordable, actually. Because
it's right above 100,000 Hong Kong dollar. So that is black dial. There's one with the white dial and black Arabic numerals, which I quite like.
Yeah, that's nice.
Is that something that you like?
I don't particularly care for Daytonas with Arabic numerals. I think it detracts. It just makes it too busy, right? You already have sub-dials and all that. So with that on top of it, it just makes it very busy.
It's less classic. The black stuff, the black ones are really
it's
black and
a
gold.
nice watch, so it's basically that, right, in a version. I think it's really cool, and again, you know, it's very wearable. It's relatively thin. It's very, you know, I wouldn't say easy to wear if it's a two-tone, because it's going to attract the eye a little bit more. But you know, if it's your style, if you wear it, I mean, and a lot of it is also how you wear stuff, you know, and if you have the confidence to wear stuff. And you see some people, you know, even when they have like really blingy watches, but it doesn't look blingy on them just because of the way they carry themselves and the dress and all that. And there's some other guys who wear this and they look like complete tools.
But what this shows, the Zenith, is that brands understand that there's a huge frustrated amount of customers who can't get the Rolex, who are ready for the take. So Zenith comes in to take the market of the Daytona. Now, who's going to take the market for the GMT? I was hoping Grand Seiko would step up, and their latest ones, it's a step closer, but it's not yet quite right. Still a bit off, because I want lume. I want it to be very thin, wearable. I want it to have a rotating bezel, and I want an adjustment in the clasp. And Grand Seiko is probably the one that's the closest to it with their latest GMT, but it's not there yet. And I guess, the Tudor is your cheap way into it, but there's still nobody capturing the GMT. And when you see the popularity of the Pepsi, and I wish GLC, for example, would do a reverse, so in steel on bracelet. They have a great adjustment in their class. They've had it for 30 years, 2mm on each side of the reverse or Grand Sport. So I had it in a chronograph version, and I wish they would make it GMT in steel. Turn around, you have the other one. That could be a great alternative, but make it exciting. You know, make it a fun watch. But who else? I don't know. Maybe Zenith is going to do a GMT.
Someone's going to come up with someone with this. Zenith has just come up with something that's a very good alternative to a Daytona.
But you got to bring something really good, like this movement is unique.
Yes.
So who can up the game of the GMT enough to be an alternative?
Well, they all have to make their in-house movements now. So you'd have to think that over time someone's going to come up with a decent option for that, and we'll be talking about it on this channel then.
All right. Well, that was it for this video.
Yeah.
And sponsored by Suntory Highball, by the way.
Yeah, it's great drink.
It's my drink of the 2021. And we'll speak to you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye. And thank you, JohnnyGuitar.